Hey everyone, and welcome. If you're a CA Inter student, you know how crucial this chapter is. We're diving deep into types of financing. My promise to you, by the end of this, you're going to feel so much more confident about locking in those marks. So let's get right into it.
Okay, let's start with a question, right out of the gate. Imagine this pops up in your exam. A brand new startup wants to take on debt. Is that a smart move? Or is it one of those classic ICAI traps designed to catch you out? Your answer here is a big deal, because honestly, so many marks are lost on this exact point.
So let's paint the picture. You've got this entrepreneur, right? Amazing idea, but it's super high risk, and they have zero track record, no history of success. But then a bank offers them a loan. The big question is, should they take the money? The concepts we're about to walk through will give you the rock-solid answer to this problem. First things first, we're going to break down this classic financing trap. Seriously, understanding why the wrong kind of money can absolutely sink a business is the #1 most important step to acing this entire chapter. So, how do we sidestep this trap? Well, the secret, and I mean this is the key to getting that exam question right, is all about one simple principle. You have to match the right kind of funding to the right stage of the business. It's not about what money you can get, it's about what money you should get.
Now you've got to pay close attention here because this table, well, this is basically your entire decision-making playbook. Just look at that first row. You've got an early-stage business with super high uncertainty. What's the source of funds? Equity, and specifically angel funds. Why? Well, think about it. The risk of failure is massive. Only an equity investor, someone who's basically becoming a part owner, is going to be willing to take that kind of a gamble. Now watch what happens. As the uncertainty starts to go down, you see debt just starting to creep in. And by the time the company is stable, with low uncertainty and predictable money coming in, what's the main source? It's debt. This table is absolutely crucial. You have to understand it.
And this slide right here explains the why perfectly. For that high-risk startup we talked about, equity is just a perfect fit. There's no fixed monthly payment breathing down your neck. If the business goes under, yeah, the investor loses their money, but the entrepreneur isn't left with a mountain of loan payments. Debt, on the other hand, that's for the big, stable companies. It comes with a fixed repayment obligation. You have to pay it back. Banks aren't gamblers, they're lenders. They need to see a steady, predictable cash flow so they know for sure they're getting their money back. So what's the takeaway? Taking a loan for a high-risk startup is a really, really bad idea. That's the trap. Okay, so now that we get the main idea of matching funds to risk, let's get organized. We need to build a kind of mental filing system. ICAI wants you to know the official, theoretical ways to classify all these different sources of money. And lucky for us, there are really only 3 main ways to do it.
Think of these 3 classifications as just different ways of looking at the same thing. It's like putting on different pairs of glasses. First, we look at where the money comes from. Then, we look at how long you get to keep it. And finally, we look at what you have to give up to get it. Let's just quickly peek at each one.
First up, based on basic sources. This one's super straightforward. Did the money come from inside the company, like from profits you saved up? That's internal. Or did you have to go outside the company to get it, like from a bank or by selling shares? That's external. See? Simple as that. Second, we can sort the funds based on how long you have to pay them back, the maturity period. Long-term funds, like money from selling shares, that's for huge things, like building a new factory. Medium-term might be for something like a big advertising campaign. And short-term funds, well, that's for the day-to-day stuff, your working capital needs. And the third way to classify, based on ownership and control. This one brings us right back to our first conversation. Is it owner's funds, which is equity, where you're giving away a piece of your company, or is it borrowed funds, which is debt, where you have to pay it back but you don't give up any ownership? This difference is just fundamental. All right, now that we have those frameworks in our head, let's zoom in on 2 specific types of financing that are huge exam favorites. You're going to want to pay really close attention here because ICAI absolutely loves to test the little details and rules we're about to cover. First on our list, intercorporate deposits, or ICDs. So what is this? It's basically when one company lends its extra spare cash to another company for a short time, maybe like 6 months. It's a company-to-company loan. One business has too much cash lying around, another one needs it. Sounds simple, right? But there's a catch. And here it is. This is your exam tip. The key phrase you absolutely must write in your answer is that the company doing the lending has surplus liquidity. This is so important. ICAI will try to trick you with a scenario where a company takes a loan just to lend that money out as an ICD. Nope, that's not how it works. You will lose marks if you don't mention this specific condition.
Okay, next up, we have public deposits.
This is when a company takes deposits directly from you and me, the general public. It's a really important source of money for them, especially when the RBI tightens the rules and makes it harder to get bank loans. That's what we call a credit squeeze. But again, there's a very specific, very numerical rule you just have to know.
This number, 35%. I want you to burn this number into your brain. This is the key that unlocks any numerical problem on public deposits. The second you see a question on this topic, your mind should immediately jump to this number. But just knowing the number isn't enough.
You have to know what it's 35% of. And let me tell you, this is where so many marks are lost. It's 35% of the company's paid-up capital plus its reserves. I guarantee you, the question will give you 5 other numbers just to confuse you. Profit, total assets, you name it. Ignore all of it. It is always paid-up capital plus reserves. Don't fall into that trap.
Whew, okay. Let's lock all of that in with a super quick, rapid-fire summary. These are the absolute must-remember points for your exam.
Okay, remember these 3 things. Number 1, all money needs can be bucketed into either long-term or short-term. Number 2, your main long-term sources are pretty much always going to be share capital, which is equity, and debt. And number 3, don't forget that special case, venture capital. That's the type of equity financing specifically designed for those new, high-risk but high-potential startups.